what would you recommend to somebody who's sitting on the other side of this? Somebody who's saying, you know, maybe I'm thinking about starting keto, or I've been doing keto for a couple of months and it feels like I can barely make it through the day or the week or whatever it is I'm committing to. And I just can't wait for that either opportunity to cheat, or I can't help myself and I just end up cheating. What would your advice be to somebody like that?
I think the number one thing is finding alternatives for what you crave.
Yeah.
So a lot of people I have a lot of friends who are very health minded and eat only whole foods. And I think that's a great way to live. But for the beginner, that's almost like telling a level 10 player, all right, we're going to turn the difficulty up to 100. So
Yeah.
I think my best advice would be eat the keto processed foods. Go buy the pint of keto ice cream, make your own keto ice cream, blend up pork rinds and use them as breading for chicken fingers. It's like you have to satisfy that craving for good tasting food, because we don't have as much control as we think. So telling myself when I first started keto that I could only eat salads and beef liver would be, I would say, okay, well, let me just go to Dairy Queen and eat a Blizzard, because I'm not going to do that. So it's like, figure out how you can satisfy the cravings for good tasting food, and eventually your taste buds will change. And then they come back with, oh, but the keto desserts taste terrible. I hate the aftertaste of the sweetener. And then my response to that is, make yourself eat them every day for 2 weeks. If you're like, this is only for people who have a sweet tooth, where it's impossible for you to do keto without eating sweets. For me, I haven't went a day without some form of keto dessert since I learned about keto desserts. So for someone like me, I would say, look, put some liquid stevia in your coffee every morning for 2 weeks. You're going to hate it for a week. Eventually, your taste buds will change and you won't be able to tell the difference. So I think it's just about getting people to understand that you can have food that tastes good. And if you don't think it tastes good at first, just keep eating it and your taste buds will come around. And then from there, you can be like, all right, it's been a few months of that. Let's take it to another level. And then you do that a few months later. And then 2 years later, we're like, all right, let's cut back on the seed oils and make your own ranch. Let's take these steps even further. But I think just starting out, it's like, allow yourself to have the processed foods. Don't worry about the scale going down. Because if you watch people like myself, or a good window into this mindset is my 600-pound life.
Yeah.
I had a similar relationship to food like that. It didn't become so extreme that I became obese. I may have been obese, but I was like 240, 5'10". So I was overweight, but I never became obese. But I had that same mindset around food where it's like, I don't feel great. Let me go get a Blizzard and then I'll feel great. And you can't just quit cold turkey. You kind of have to ease your way into the lifestyle of not eating the Blizzard. And if you do that through getting a pint of keto ice cream, even though it's 680 calories and it may prevent you from losing weight, it's going to help you in the long term, because you're going to change over time. Your appetite's going to go down over time. And if you think in terms of how much weight can I lose in 2 years, well, now the game is actually in your favor.